Hi, I'm Pamela, and welcome to Green Stick Cottage, where I cross stitch every chance I get whenever the cats allow me to. So I started WIPGO this year, and I did make progress on my two WIPGO pieces that were drawn for the month of February. And the first one was the 2021 mystery sampler from Fox and Rabbit Designs. And I did start this in 2021, and I got as far, so at the point I started, let me try to do this, which hopefully, there's Misty, by the way. I will try to put where I was before I worked on this one. And basically I had started this border around this square on New Year's Eve, 12 by 12. I think I got about 3/4 of it done. And so I had to finish that, and then I did, so this is the May section of the piece. These came out in monthly installments in 2021. And so I know, I'm pretty sure this was March, April, and now May, with January and February being the main, these columns. This chart comes without any color key or anything. It's all just, the same symbol throughout on the charts. And so you can do it monochromatically, or you can do what I did and pick and choose colors. And so this one looked autumn to me, even though it was the May section. And I decided to use, autumn leaf type colors. And I decided this was a fountain in the middle. And these ended up looking like corn, standing corn to me. So that's the way I did it. And so I'm really happy that I've got this whole section done. So that's 5/12 of this piece so this piece is 5/12 finished. And if I didn't say so before, it's called Talavera, and it's based on the Talavera tiles from Spain. And I used a lot of black. I chose a lot of black because of the wrought iron of Mediterranean type architecture, and it just kind of reminded me of that. So, but then I wanted to be really colorful in the tiles themselves. So that's what I did. So that was my first project my first WIPGO project I worked on in February. And then then on February 10 was the year of the Dragon SAL. That's when that started. I chose to work on a whip. I couldn't, there's so many beautiful dragon patterns out there, and I have several myself. And I just thought, no, I want to finish my Fighting My Demons sampler that I had already started, and I will try to put a picture up here of where I was at. And then I started on February 10. I've got things on here. Okay. I started on February 10, and I had barely started this top of the wing right here. And so starting on February 10, I ended up finishing this whole dragon. I had previously gotten this much of the border done on page 1. And so I got this corner dragon. I believe I'll try to put the picture of the finished piece up here. I believe there's a dragon in every corner, plus scattered throughout the whole piece. It's a big piece. I'm using DMC 815 for this one color red sampler. It's a red sampler. and I'm just looking forward on working at it a little bit. I'd like to just keep working on it. When I get started on it, it's like I want to stick with it, as it is with so many of the things I'm working on. But that's what I got done for Year of the Dragon SAL. All right, and let's see. Then came my second WIPGO, and my WIPGO isn't all whips. I only, like, half of it is whips, and I filled in the rest of the boxes with new starts. And so far, January and February, the numbers came up to where I got one whip and one new start out of the WIPGO numbers. So that's what happened in January, and it happened again in February. And so my second WIPGO call was a new start, the Desiderata. I don't know how much of this can be read, but it is the full text of the Desiderata, and this was a kit given to me by my sister, who loves that piece of poetry, I guess you would call it. And it is a beautiful pattern, and I got a good start on it. I was thinking I would start up in this corner and do this full coverage part, but I read through all the instructions. There's a lot of instructions in here in this one, and it recommended a center start. And once I studied everything, I agreed that was a good idea. And so here's what it looks like now. I did the, you can kind of see it here, that very center line that separates the two columns. And that is, how did it go? It was like 226 rows of the DMC 676, and I did a little bit down here into the bottom border, and a little bit up here at the top beyond these, but essentially it's this center. It's called Panel E in the directions, and it is layered essentially. So you start off with the DMC 6, I think it's 676, and it's one strand, and I didn't give the particulars on the fabrics. The Talavera is 14 count Aida white, and the Fighting My Demons sampler is and on the Talavera, it's 2/1 is how I'm working it. And then on the Fighting My Demons sampler, that's 32 count Stormy Night Lugana by Zweigart. I keep messing that name up. And I'm working that 2/2. So, right. Okay. So now we're caught up. And the Desiderata. So this is on, I believe this is 14 count, and it's like an ivory or cream colored Aida. And you start with this gold part, one strand over one. So it's very, let's see if I can get it close enough. So it's kind of like a very faint looking, ghosty looking thing, and it's 226 rows of 6 stitches across, and that was kind of hard to get through. Then you cross stitch 2/1 the hearts and flowers, and on top of the yellow. And then the third thing you do is you use 3 strands of the darker green. Let's see if I can get this closer. 3 strands of the darker green to do the back stitching on the hearts, on the green hearts. So it was quite interesting, but I do like the textured look of it, and I like the colors together and everything. So that's my new start of the Desiderata, and you can see I have quite a bit to go here. So this is going to be a long-term project, and but I think it will be beautiful. The colors are, where did I put the colors? Because that is worth seeing. Oh, here they are in my lap. But all those colors are going to be in this, and I think it's going to be so pretty. So that's that. And so that was my February, except this is the last day of February, which is Leap Day. And I decided, I heard people talking about Leap Day starts, and I thought, hey, it's going to be Leap Day for me too. So I think I'll do a Leap Day start. And since this was full coverage February, and I never got to anything full coverage, I decided, but I did get all my supplies to do my first HAID, Heaven and Earth Designs, which is, and the first one I'm going to do is the Winter Reading Nook. And hopefully I can put the picture up here in front of Misty, who's being very nice. She's being very sweet and very good today. And I didn't even count how many skeins. I think there's 89 colors or something, but some colors have more than one skein. So that's the huge amount there for the Winter Reading Nook. And that's when I figured out that my bags that I got from Amazon, they can't all hold 2 projects. Like this is holding 2 projects, although I've taken, this is the Talavera bag, which there's actually 2 Talavera pieces, which you'll see in a minute. But anyway, so all of this floss, and I only took off these. These are the first few colors that are coming up, and some of them I already had some on a bobbin, some leftovers. So before I break into the brand new skeins, I'm going to try to use up the leftovers on here. I think there's I think there's 2 of those, and then 3 skeins I had to cut down for. Anyway, for the first few parts across is going to be these colors. So that's black and a brown and a green and a gold, and what was that one? A gray. So not too bright and colorful like the whole piece looks, but so I went through all these. I got every single one I was supposed to get, so everything's here. And I decided to go with the recommended, and I got the 25 count, easy count fabric for this. And I got a really big piece because, of course, this is going to be a big piece. And so I guess this is by Zweigart as well, because it's got the orange. I heard that the orange tells you it's Zweigart. That 25 count, I can actually see it without my magnifier lamp. I wouldn't want to actually stitch it without the magnifier lamp. And I actually practiced. I have a sample of this, and I actually practiced ahead of time with the magnifier lamp, putting needle and thread through it to see if I could do it. So I think I'll be able to do it all right on this. We'll see. But this is going to be my Leap Day start. As soon as I'm done here, I'm going to start on this, and I'm going to start in the upper left corner, and we will see how far I get on one day's worth of stitching. And my WIPGO calls for winners for March are the let's get the let's get a board here. I only have 3 of these boards to put up. And so this is the other Talavera piece. Now, when Talavera came out in 2021, the monthly portions came out, and each monthly portion also had an ornament in addition to the main piece. So it had a little ornament, and I decided to just make a whole nother piece out of the 12 ornaments. So so I have January through April here so far, and on New Year's Eve, 12 by 12, I started filling in this square here for the next portion. So this will be the May portion, just like it was on the main piece. So I call the other piece Talavera Main, and I call this one Talavera Ornaments. And so this, I don't think I've even looked at the May portion yet. But I'm going to take a look at it, and after I finish my leap day start of the winter reading nook, I'm going to take a look at this and see which colors I'll use. And this is the Talavera palette here, all these bright colors, and there are variegateds as well. And so those are the ones I have to choose from. So yeah, so then I'll have both Talavera pieces caught up to May of 2021 in 2024. The second WIPGO call was a new start again. I get to do a new start for the 3rd month in a row. And this one is Cape May Victorians. I am hoping I will be able to get both of these panels done on one piece. If not, I'll be happy to get one on there. And the fabric I chose for this is this, I think it's called Coastal. And it's very pretty. It's a very pretty blue with a little bit of white. So it kind of reminded me of By the Sea, if there were like, slight clouds in the sky. But I really like it. It's beautiful bluish aqua kind of color. And the thread I'm going to use, and this Cape May Victorians, and oh gosh, I can't remember what count this was. I'm going to guess 32 because that's generally what I get with even weaves. And I think this is I think it's a Lugana. It doesn't feel like a Lugana though. Let me look at my card. Let's see. Cape May Victorians. That easy count for the winter reading nook is Lugana. 25 count Lugana. White and with the gray grid on it. And so let's see, what do we have? I gotta catch up. We've done the ornaments piece and of course I didn't write anything on my Cape May Victorians card yet. It's just a placeholder because it hadn't been started yet. So I've got to fill all that information in. And so hopefully when I come back and show you my start on that, I'll know what the fabric is for sure. But anyway, very pretty. And these pieces, this is all done mostly. There's a lot of, it's like black work, I guess. A lot of it is like black work. And seems like it's more that than cross stitches. But I'm going to do it monochromatically with this thread, which is, I have no idea color number or name, but it is Sullivan's. And it's just a very pretty, where's the board here? It's just a very pretty kind of rose, antique rose kind of color to me is what it looks like. And I thought that against the blue would be really, or this aqua, I guess it's more of an aqua than a blue. But I thought these would go well together and it would definitely show up well on here. I'm terrible at showing these things. But anyway, I will love seeing those colors while I'm working on it, that's for sure. All right, then the next thing for March is my birthday. So that happens in March, and everybody seems to do a birthday start. So I figured, hey, I'll do a birthday start. And this fabric still has the label on it, so I can tell you what it is. It's 28 count black Jobelin. And I have never worked on black before, and this is a very black. I mean, it is dark. It's not a chalkboard black, it's just plain black. And so I have heard that working on it with something white in your lap, let's see if this will translate. If I put this, behind. Anyway, so maybe I'll just put one of these boards in my lap and try to stitch through it that way. I know when I'm working with black yarn, I use my magnifier lamp, not so much for the magnification, but the light directly on the black yarn as I'm working on it. And that helps a lot. So maybe I'll be successful that way. And this piece that the black is going to be on is called Memento Mori by Satsuma Street. And I figured that was a very appropriate birthday start, or a start for my birthday, as I add on another year. And these colors, I love this design because of all the bright colors, and on the black, it's so striking with all of these bright colors. And I was actually at a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant in Las Vegas, Nevada. And by the way, it's Nevada, not Nevada. So, as a former Nevadan, that's my public service announcement. Anyway, so all these colors. And when it was actually, is it Dia Los Muertos, or I'm not sure how to say it. But this, I was there around that period of time, and the restaurant, I mean, it's already decorated in very beautiful colors. I probably talked about this before, because I was just so impressed, and I can't even remember the name. I'll have to ask my daughter. She's the one, she and her husband took my sister and me there when we were visiting. And anyway, if I think of it, I'll pass on the name. If you ever visit Las Vegas, you have to go there. It is so good. The food was just excellent, best steak I've ever had in my life. Anyway, but the decoration, hand painting everywhere. The tables were carved. All the tables were carved and painted. The chairs, the chair backs were on both sides, were carved and painted in bright colors. Every windowsill had art on it of all kinds, ceramics, and it was just a feast for the eyes as well as the stomach. I mean, it was just a wonderful place. So on top of their usual decorations, they also had the Day of the Dead decorations around. And then shortly after that, I saw this pattern from Satsuma Street, and I thought, oh, it just reminded me of, the good time I had at that restaurant. Plus, just I'm going to add to the piece. It's a long, narrow piece. I think I'm going to either do it down each side or maybe top and bottom of that long narrow piece. I'm going to add the the words Memento Mori on one side and Memento Vivere on the other side. So remember your death, remember to live, remember your life. So I thought that sentiment was really good for, a birthday of advanced years. So I think it's a good reminder of no matter what age you are also. It's very stoic philosophy, and I like that. And so that's what's coming up in March. And I've been in kind of a reading slump lately, so I've been focusing on magazines. I mean, I have to read, but I don't really want to get involved in a book. I've been disappointed by recent books that I've read. And so I decided to just focus. I have a stack of magazines that I've collected, so I decided I'm just going to focus on magazines until I feel like picking up a book again. Now, the first one, so I've been getting these when I go grocery shopping, essentially. And, of course, I had to have this one, just cross-stitch. And I'm also kind of auditioning these magazines to decide if I want to subscribe to any of them. This was a for sure subscription, so I sent in the subscription card and decided to subscribe to this one. First of all, I love the bunny on the front. I mean, how can you not love that? And I'm always a sucker for animals in human clothing. I've mentioned this before, like with Barbara Anna designs, with the fox and the chicken, and I think it's a chicken, one of them. And so, show me an animal in a dress, and I'm going to go for it. So I don't know if I'll ever make this right away, but at least I have it. I have it right here. And this magazine had a lot of patterns that I loved. Like, I really like this one for spring, with the quilt and the hats hanging on the line between the trees. I really love that one. That one's beautiful. And of course, the bunny on the front I had to have. And they started this hummingbird. Where is that one? Anyway, there it is, hummingbird sampler. And so the first, I guess they're going to have, I don't know, one each issue or something. But I don't know if I want to commit to that until I have all the parts in hand. But anyway, that one's, and of course, the reason this caught my attention in the first place wasn't even seeing it on the shelf at the store. It was this art, FlossTubers talking about this article where they found FlossTube, and some of my favorite people are down here. So I wanted to get it just for that, just to be able to read the article. And then when I saw the design, and the other designs inside, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sold on this magazine. I want that one. So hopefully I'll be getting that one on a regular basis now. I did get some quilting magazines as well. I just finished reading this one today at the dentist office, and I love the front one, but this cover, it's a table runner. I love that one. I think that one's pretty, but there's not much else in here. This one's called Quick and Easy. It's Fawns and Porter's Quick and Easy Quilts. And I wasn't really impressed with much else in here. And so this one didn't pass the audition. I'm not going to subscribe to this one. But I used to subscribe to this one for several years, about 30 years ago. And back when I was quilting and sewing a lot, and it's been so long since I have done any of it that's why I'm kind of getting a hold of magazines and books on quilting because I want to get back into quilting, but I have to clear out a bedroom to make a sewing room, and it may take some time to get set up to be able to easily, that's kind of why quilting went by the wayside, because I didn't have the room. I had to downsize, didn't have the room anymore, and I had to go back to work full time and things like that. So life got in the way of my quilting life. But this was one of the magazines I subscribed to back then, and I really loved it, and I still love it. And I love this cover quilt, and I especially like this banner. Anyway, there's several of them I like in here, almost every one actually. But there's a welcome banner, kind of a home. Where is it now? It was really easily findable before. Oh, and I like these hummingbirds too. Aren't those cute? And oh, here it is. So I love that style right there. That's gorgeous. And it's small enough. I'm really intimidated since I haven't sewn in so long. And I've got to find out. I've got 2 sewing machines. I got to find out if either one of them works. I know my sewing machine that I used before, I was having trouble with it, and that's also why I quit doing sewing type things. And so lately there was a fundraiser for someone who in town who was a big quilter, knitter, everything, and everybody in my handcrafters group, was interested. They were doing a fundraiser and the quilt raffle and all that. And so they were selling a lot of things, and one of those was a sewing machine with a cabinet. That's the one I wanted to get because it had the cabinet. And I haven't, that's been like 2 or 3 months, and I haven't even set it up to try it out to see if it works. I'm kind of afraid I won't know how to do it anymore, and I'm just really intimidated. So that's why I'm reading things like this and trying to immerse myself in the quilting world again. And there's a lot of new stuff that I'm not familiar with at all. Like back when I was quilting, hardly anyone did long arm because nobody could afford it, and their own long arm quilter. And some people were starting to do machine quilting with regular machines, especially if they had real premium machines, which I never did. And so I've always been a hand quilter, so we'll see if I've got the knack for that anymore. But anyway, this is kind of on the horizon. I'm not sure when I'll be able to start quilting again. But I love dreaming about it, and I love looking at pictures of quilts. I'm even reading through the directions in these magazines to kind of do the visualization thing and get familiar with, and picturing myself doing these, cutting out the pieces. And I've got also, all of my quilting stuff is in storage and buried amongst other things, and I sure hope I can find it all. But anyway, I also subscribed to Quilter's World back in the day, and I think it was this one. It might have been Quilt Maker but anyway, whatever. I loved this one. Love at first sight with this quilt right here. And also there's one in here that they're doing in installments. And again, I don't want to, even if I was set up to start sewing again, I probably would not start it until I have all the pieces in my hand and ready to go. But they've got the where is it? Gosh, there it is. Should mark these things ahead of time. But anyway, this is called Prairie Star, and isn't it gorgeous? And so this issue has Prairie Star Part 1. So at least I got in on the beginning. And hopefully I can collect all the parts and eventually be able to do this one because I think it's gorgeous. So that's just the top 4 on my stack. I have more. But anyway, some of them are crochet, and let's see, that one's a crochet, another quilting, another Quilter's World special one, and oh, this is an old Jane Austen crochet one. This is from 2013. Jane Austen Knits 2013. So I've had it that long, and I've got a bookmark in here. So I'm only on the from the editor letter right here. So in 10 years, 11 years, that's all as far as I've gotten. So that one's on my stack to read too. And so that's how the cookie crumbles for me. A lot of times I get distracted and on to other things, and then something like that just falls through the cracks. All right, so that's what's going on with me in cross-stitching and dreams of sewing and quilting. So I'm glad I got to spend this time with you. I think I've got allergies going on, and so it's been kind of nice lately weather-wise here. And so I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and thank you very much for watching, and enjoy your stitching.